sit on the couch and count your money and just enjoy the races for a while. But Mark Marquez is determined. He wants to win a world championship again.
That's what I find so fascinating about him. Setback after setback, he's there all the time. Let's talk about Fabio Quartararo, starting from 6th on the grid here. Do you think you'd be happy going from that position, Kev?
Well, you never are when there's other guys in front of you, are you, Domo? But I mean, he'd be happy enough because, they got trouble with the top speed, and this is obviously the horsepower track of the season, really. Qatar is as well in a few places, but, Mugello, and it's such a special race compared to the middle of the desert, the middle of the Tuscany Hills. And he'll be happy with that, and it'll be interesting to see how the race pans out. They've got some new aero, the top speed's a little better, so we'll just have to see how that pans out over 23 laps.
Won at this track last year from pole position,
That's right.
so he's obviously...
And Yamaha have a good record here too. I mean, they've won 13 times, more than any other manufacturer, in fact. So, a lot of times at the hands of Rossi and Lorenzo, but, they definitely got a good setup around here as well. But I think he's going to find it hard tonight.
And he is the championship leader, but only by 4 points. So you'd have to think he'd start feeling the pressure that the guys are really coming from at this stage.
Yeah, but I don't know, he's a different cat.
What he's good at is get good points. He's not in a position to win. Be in the top 5 and still secure some good points. With guys like Bagnaia who are kind of win or bust, that's still a good
not
game.
championship material, is it?
That's right.
Consistent points, yeah, he's been doing that throughout the year. Really interesting in Mugello here. First time at town.
Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go.
Million riders have blocked out the front row in MotoGP since 2016, and they're doing it in Italy. How special is it?
Yeah, and on Ducatis as well, so especially
For the rookies.
Oh, absolutely.
They're going to be.
It's just amazing, and again, I'll say it, the end of time tonight, the landscape's just changing, and it's really amazing. And again, we'll see how the rookies and the experience and the high pressures of Mugello, very hard on man, not only physically but mentally, and also the machines mechanically, because they get such a hammering up over the top of that crest, and 350 plus, maybe might even break 360 again here tonight. So that's 100 metres per second. So that's moving when you're going into a blind crest, and you've got to slow down for a second gear.
I'm just looking at those flags there, Kev, though, and they see which way they're blowing, which means they've got a big headwind onto that straight. So we might not see the top speed record broken this time, but we're certainly going to see plenty of action as we go over that hump, that's for sure.
You were looking at the direction of the flag, I was looking, what's going on there? I don't know. We'll probably we had can-can dancers in France, so they might be trying to top them here this evening. A really special night as well. 5 Ducatis within the top 5 at their home GP, but also when you think of Marini and Bezzecchi, the VR46 riders, in Italy, the 46 number is just being retired for Valentino Rossi. I mean, that's just another fairy tale storyline we could be treated to.
Yeah, absolutely, and 2 of his bikes are on the front row, so it's kind of an amazing story, and I'm sort of a bit lost for words as how to frame it, but it's amazing, one, what Valentino's achieved. His number 46 is retired, and now 2 bikes that he's got in the team are on the front row of the grid at Mugello.
The sort of legacy he's he's going to, that name's going to be around for a long time, that's for sure.
And his half-brother as well, in Luca Marini, on the front row tonight, which is very exciting, Damo.
Yeah, I mean, he's a real chance too tonight. I mean, I know the conditions are a bit tricky, and in qualifying, that often does sort of cause a few surprises, and as I said, Giantoni was the best at sort of timing his run there, so he made the most of that. But in the race, I think we could see, more regular sort of front runners in this one. It's a long way to the end of this race, so Bagnaia and Zarco will be good in this one there.
Yeah, well, I'm very eager to hear what's happening down here on ground level. Let's take a look at the pre-race entertainment now. that there. A bit of pre-race entertainment, maybe trying to top Le Mans, Damo, a bit of rivalry in between.
Maybe so. I prefer the draw.
I think everything second to the lot.
It was quite spectacular, wasn't it? We had Alicia Spargo just on the screen there, second in the championship standings. It's coming from 7th tonight on the grid. In a very exciting week for Aprilia, Damo is just recommitted for another 2 years.
Yeah, that's right. As we said earlier, they've really doubled down, haven't they? They've signed their riders, they've locked them in, and they've got a satellite team coming next year. That's going to really be interesting in terms of development for them, because they've been doing it by themselves all this time, and now you've got 2 extra riders' feedback, and that's important in the development of the bike too. So, yeah, they're pushing, they're going in all guns blazing.
Yeah, and they've got Salvadori as a wild card this weekend too. So, testing's one thing, but gathering
They got
information.
the spoiler.
The boomerang.
Yeah.
I'm calling it.
Yeah.
And they've got 2 little winglets off the side of each side of the ducktail too. So there's even extra downforce here to maybe control those front wings and get the back sitting a little bit flatter without the mechanical device on the rear suspension, so that front wing can go through that such high speed area at the end of the straight a little bit flatter, so there's not as much downforce, therefore doesn't rob the kilometres an hour.
Alicia's brother pole there, starting from 9th tonight, 12th in the championship standings. Damo, in terms of his future and his seat, do we have any further information this week?
No, we don't have anything confirmed, but there's certainly lots of rumours. This is silly
Plenty of
season, and it's getting pretty silly. There's talk that he might be even on his way back to KTM. That is one of the hot rumours, but of course Jack Miller's been pushing that seat as well. So at the moment it's a game of musical chairs, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens when that music stops.
Silly season well and truly in full swing.
I mean, with Suzuki dropping out, Aprilia going to have the satellite team next year, or second factory team it'll be, basically, because they won't put any dodgy bikes there. They want the information, just like Ducati really started that, having sort of more of a second tier factory bike than a satellite bike.
Yep.
And it's worked really good for them, and Aprilia will do the same thing, no doubt.
Marc Marquez on screen. It's incredible that he's even getting up to race tonight, Damo, with Sturgery scheduled very soon.
Good point. I'm surprised too myself, actually, that he's actually bothering to do this race, because let's face it, he goes and spoons it now and re-breaks that arm, or it's going to set that back again. But I guess he's committed and he's going to have a go, and there's certainly one thing about Marc Marquez: if he's in the race, he's going to throw everything at it. So I don't think he'll be riding around with any cautiousness. He's
once a racer, always a racer, and we've seen what he does when he's got his race face on, and he's going to do no different tonight.
I'm really excited to see what this guy can do tonight too, actually, is Marco Bezzecchi, another rookie who's doing a great job. I've just picked for pole position, but second on the grid, and I actually think that of the guys on that front row, he's probably got the best chance for a race win tonight, or at least a podium finish. So watch out for Bezzecchi tonight.
The first qualifying 1-2 with 2 rookies since Qatar in 2008. So it's very rare to see 2 rookies going 1-2. You'd have to think the Italian factor this evening, it's just playing a really big advantage. The boys who know this track and know it well, they were the ones performing in qualifying.
Yeah, and the conditions are a little bit tricky, as Damo said earlier, that the track was drying, and it was just every, half a lap, if you like, not even a lap. A half a lap was better later than the half a lap before, and it was in that small of increments that the traction on the track was improving in that final qualifying session.
And most riders don't like that half and half stuff. I don't know what you like, but I either preferred it to be either pouring rain or really dry. Anything in between, it felt like a bit of a guessing game, and sometimes the rookies, well, they can take a bit of extra risk because they haven't been down the road as much as the guys who have been there before them. So in this case, it worked out for them, and on the front row.
You did get that sense they weren't riding with any fear in Q2 yesterday, and the experienced heads.
Plenty of bravado.
Yeah, exactly. What about Jack Miller after qualifying? He said he's finding this track really difficult to overtake.
Yeah.
So he views, a good start here, Damo, will just be crucial for him.
Oh, it will, and it's becoming like a common thread, is that the guys are starting to say that it's becoming harder and harder to overtake, with all of the aero making an impact on slipstream and downforce, and tyre temperatures and all the rest of it, the guys are finding it harder to sort of come back from those positions further back at the grid, which is making qualifying extra important. And it was a real shame to see him miss out